Hello everybody, welcome back to another episode of Rookie Season. Today is opening day of bear hunting after a couple months of planning and a month of running baits. Finally, we're going to get to go sit over the top of the baits and hope something walks in front of us. With me today, making his debut on the channel, is Mr. Nick. You ready?
Oh yeah.
Man of many words. Okay, so I made it to the bait site. Doesn't look like anything hit it last night. I filled it up yesterday afternoon, but that doesn't mean nothing's gonna come hit it tonight. I'm gonna top it off, and then once I ring the dinner bell, get up my tree as quick as I can and get ready. Alright, so saddle's in place. I got a few of my bait site. It's about 2:40 legal hours going till 7:50 something. So I got an alarm set to go off so I don't shoot anything past the legal hours. But now we'll set up the back band, get reclined, and wait for prime time to come right around 7:30. Wish me luck, guys. Alright, so we're getting into the last hour now. I might have had one coming in about an hour and a half ago, but I'm not certain. I heard something about 60 yards behind me, but it's way too thick to really be able to see back there. But we're really getting into prime time now. The rain stopped, not a whole lot of wind, so I think if we're gonna see one today, it's gonna be right now, within this next hour. If I don't see one, most of my pictures from the trail cam have been about 20-30 minutes after legal hours have ended. So I'm not going to be wasting any time getting out of here. I really don't want to be running into one of these guys on my way out in the dark. But next time we talk, I'll either be in my truck or standing over a bear. All right, guys, day 2, sit number 2 of bear season. Nick's already out into the woods sitting in his stand, so I'm going to pack up some gear, get going. We had a bait site get hit last night, so I got to top off that bait site, as well as grab some batteries for some trail cameras, and then dangle from a tree until it gets too dark to see. It's about 7 o'clock, which means we have 50 minutes of legal light. Nothing yet. Bait site didn't get hit last night, so I'm not insanely optimistic that we'll be able to make it happen tonight, but nonetheless, I'll stay here until legal hours end. I don't know what's changed. I haven't changed a single thing in how I'm running my bait, but it's only the second day of the season. We got a month of hunting over bait. Hopefully, as it gets colder, the bears will start hitting these bait sites harder and harder to make up for what they're losing with berries going away. But we're getting into prime time, so I'm going to shut up and focus up. So I'll save you guys the bore of watching me go into the woods unsuccessfully over and over, and just sum up the rest of the bait hunting season and how it went for me. The first week of the season, I stopped getting all pictures of bears. After that,
on a very consistent basis. I had bears coming in every single night, but we entered this song and dance where they would just not come in during legal shooting hours. They would only come in at night. Some nights it was 5 minutes after legal hours ended. Other nights it was 2 hours after legal hours ended. Unfortunately, hunting from a tree stand, there's no way to legally shoot a bear that's only going to come in at night. That said, there is a trapping season, so I went out and got my trapping license.
So the hunting season for bear is just about over, but there are more seasons. Maine is the only state in the country that allows bear trapping. So that's going to add another month to the season. And so we're going to try bear trapping. We're getting bears almost every single night to the bait sites. But the issue is they're coming in after legal hunting hours. If you're trapping, you can go in after legal hunting hours and dispatch the bear. So especially when you get a group of bears like what I have this year, that nothing will come in during the day, this is the only way to be able to harvest them. So for a trap, we're going to be using the Select to Catch 1000. This is one of a handful of traps that is legal in the state. Because we're the only state that allows bear trapping, it is highly regulated, and the state actually has a list of something like 10 traps, and those are the only 10 types of traps that you can legally use. I got this one because you can adjust it to make sure that a small bear doesn't set it off. So this right here is my pan tension screw, and this is my pan. Essentially what happens is the snare is on these, bear steps on this plate, and that snare comes off and catches its hand. But this screw adjusts how much weight that it takes to make that whole mechanism happen. I weigh about 200 pounds, and the smallest bear that I'm willing to get is a 200-pound bear. So I'm basically going to use myself to figure out what I need for pan tension. Even though I don't have any cubs on camera in the bait site, I want to make sure that a cub can't set this off if all of a sudden they were to start coming in after I set the trap. That said, if I'm able to, I'm going to pull the trap if cubs come in, but sometimes they beat you to it. So this way, only a full-grown adult bear will be able to set the trap. So I'm going to start taking my anchoring spike and just throw it in the back here. And now I'll set the trap. And then this is the safety nail that goes right there. And I'll tighten up my tension screw a bit. And that's not bad right there. I'm going to try that one more time just to make sure. So we'll tighten that up just a bit. Okay, so I'm out at the bait site. This is the tree that I'm working with. I kind of been tucking the bait right there. You can see they've really dug it out, but I'm going to get to work on setting my catch circle and bedding the trap. So I am going to wear some gloves while I do this, different than my leather bait gloves, so that way I'm not getting the smell of me or my bait all over the chain and the snare, because otherwise they're going to dig that up and they might mess it up before getting into the trap. So the way I need to think about this is the bear's coming right here to feed, and I need to get the pan somewhere that I think he's going to put his foot down, so I don't want it directly in front. So I got this root coming right here, so I might be best off to put the pan right here and the back of the trap going that way. Another real important thing that I need to do is I need to stretch my entire chain out and check my catch circle to make sure that once the bear is in the snare, it's not going to get tangled up in trees. So as is, it seems like there's a couple trees that might get caught up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bed the trap to see exactly how much I need just for everything to reach the trap okay. And then, if need be, I'll cut down the trees. I try to do as little modification to these bait sites as I can, just because I don't want them to walk in and be like, oh, that's different. So we'll see what we need because we could just shorten this up instead of cutting down a bunch more trees. Okay, so my trap's down. I got it low. These snares by law need to be at or below ground level. But looks like I've got that deep enough. It's nice and stable. So I'll stake down the anchors and then get working on hiding it. And this is some really soft ground, so I'm definitely going to use all 5 spikes. So right there, seems like there's a rock, so I don't think I can put one right there. One more in the rear. So that's set. And while I'm working on this, I'm going to put that safety nail back in. So now I'll set my snare and just see exactly how much chain I need. Okay, so it looks like I can shorten up the chain a touch. Now I'm going to test it to make sure it's going to go off the way I want. Yeah, I would say that worked. And now I'm going to check the catch circle with the shorter chain. So I got 2 small trees that I need to take out in order to keep the catch circle good, but that's not too big of a job or of a difference, so I don't think that will mess with anything. And once I get those cut down, that bear will have a full diameter or circumference around this tree that it can run without getting wrapped up into anything. Even though the goal is to ultimately kill a bear, we obviously don't want to cause more pain to it than we have to. So now I've got a little piece of parchment paper, and this is my pan cover. So when I go to cover this trap up, this is going to keep dirt out of the pan, so that way it doesn't jam up the mechanism at all. And it will also keep water out, which can stiffen everything up more than what you want it to be. So I'll reset. Safety spike. Get that snare back on. So now I'll pull that safety out. So this trap is armed. And now I'm going to get to work on covering it. So I got to make sure this ramp is forward, and this just sits loosely on the trap, and that's going to keep crud from getting underneath there. And that ramp, when that red slider goes back, hits that ramp, pops the cover off. So nice loose fit there. I'm just going to take some of that dirt that I dug up and just start covering everything lightly. It's really important that I don't go too heavy, because if I go too heavy, this door won't fly off and the trap won't fire right. So now, one last final step I'm going to do before I go and place my bait is bears like to be silent. They actually put a lot of thought into where they step. So I'm going to put some noisy stuff over here on the side of the tree that my trap's on, because that'll help make the bear go to the other side, so that way he has silent steps. And then I've got this big rock here, just to try to help keep stuff out, like raccoons. Now we just need to hope that the bear doesn't throw the rock onto the trap. As much as this may seem like a sure thing to people, it is not. Now we'll ring the dinner bell and put the sticks in. If hunting or trapping is a game of cat and mouse, my time running this bear trap was an episode of Tom and Jerry. The biggest bear I've ever gotten on camera showed up, and he had my number. He would lay down on top of the trap or put rocks on it so I couldn't get him. He was for sure smarter than your average bear. But then, I caught him. And then he got out of the snare in a matter of minutes. This happened 3 times over the season, hence his name, Houdini. I'm writing this script in the middle of the season, so I don't know if I've gotten a bear or not. But regardless of the result of my efforts, I already know exactly what I want to say about the season. Bear hunting and trapping is full of misconceptions, all the way from anti-hunters to hunters themselves. These misconceptions are about the animal and the activity. Bears are smart and strong creatures. One thing I've learned about them is just as soon as you think you have them figured out or know how strong they are quick to prove you wrong. A lot of people in and out of the hunting community feel that hunting bear over bait, or especially trapping them, is at the very least too easy and at the worst unethical. The first question I would ask anyone who feels that way is if they had ever done a 100% DIY bear hunt or trapping trip. No guides, no lodges, all on your own. At this point, I have pursued every single big game animal in the state of Maine, and out of all of them, bears have made me work the hardest, sweat the most, and taken the most of my time. I spent hours pawing through law books, applying for permits, contacting landowners for permission, running the baits, and I even had to take a trapping class mid-season to be able to legally trap. This has been the single biggest undertaking in my hunting career, and none of it was easy. I've lost almost 15 pounds this season from basically doing 1.5 miles of farmer's carries almost every day just to run the baits. Countless hours of work, all to hopefully lead up to one fateful moment. This is what makes bear hunting funny to me. I'm almost happy that bear season is over. After 2 months of non-stop, my legs can finally rest, I can sleep in again, my truck can get a break from running through the woods, and I can begin the transition over to other game species like deer. And yet, with all of that said, I know, come next July, when I circle a date on the calendar to mark the start of the baiting season, I'm going to be anxiously counting down the days, chomping at the bit to get back into these woods and do it all over again.